Hey, how you doing today? Welcome to the Asian Spirit Love podcast. My name is Eric, and this is Alex, of course. So glad you can join us. And as you know, we talk about dating a lot, and today we're going to discuss the differences between the experiences with a gay person and a straight. Obviously, we mentioned before, Alex is gay, and I'm straight. Yep. So we're going to discuss how the experiences for him are different from mine.
Gay as a day is long.
Of course, this doesn't reflect all gay guys, and mine doesn't reflect a lot of straight guys. But we're just going to talk about our own experience and how there are differences and similarities between just the whole process, the people we meet, how people act. And we'll find out. Actually, a lot of things are probably the same. It's human nature, whether it's men or women. People act the same way.
Remarkable similarities, but I also say there are clear differences too as well.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about today, and also this goes for everyone. But again, as you said before, we're two men. You guys are different. We're different. And especially from the API perspective, it's a little bit different, but there are still a lot of similarities. So regardless of what cultural background you are, black, white, Latino, Asian, Middle Eastern, etc., you can relate to this.
Yeah, we're all human, right? So everyone goes through the same.
Homo sapiens.
Yes.
Homo sapiens.
Emphasize that. Yep. So have you recently been using the apps or been going out on dating?
Yeah, what's funny is that on our last podcast, we talked about how dating apps work for some and don't work for others. I definitely doesn't work great for me, to be honest. But at the same time, I feel like it's a good learning experience, a growing experience. I'm still kind of an 80s and 90s baby where I really focus on the whole entire R&B, roles, open doors, all that kind of stuff. And just meeting in person. So dating to me, I miss those days and ages. So dating is kind of a quandary for me in terms of online only. But yeah, I have been using dating apps because that's all we have is gay men.
Yeah, because for gay men, when you walk on the street, it's hard to tell who's gay or
not even that. It's just I told you a story before how in college I saw this guy that I was for sure I had two straight friends, a female and a male, and I asked him yo, you gotta tell me if it's the right situation or not. Should I hit on him or whatever? They're like, no, for sure, 120% he's gay. So I was like, yo, all right. So then I was like, yo, one time, after class, I was like, hey, how you doing? What's up? How you been? He was like, oh, I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm like, I'm doing all right. He's like, I was like, yo, man, I was wondering, I would love to get to know you better, and let's go for some coffee sometime and talk. And he was like, what? I'm like, I was like, making you some coffee. I'll treat you out. Don't worry about it.
With the ultra New York accent. Coffee.
Yeah, coffee. Because I used to be before.
So this is when you were in New York.
Yeah, this is when I was in New York. Yeah. So I... and I was like, I'm a traditional man. I'm Thai. Don't worry, I'll take you out, get wherever you want, everything like that. You're my dime piece today. And he was like, what? He's like, you think I'm gay? And I'm like, what? You mean you not? And he was. I was like, I was all I was all in
so you were really shocked.
I was like, I talked to my other friends, and they were for sure 120% you were gay. I thought it was in a bag, and then So sorry, go ahead.
No, good. Yeah, that's a pretty funny story. So he actually, do you think he really wasn't gay, or he was maybe didn't like you and he said that, or maybe he was?
I don't know.
Still in the closet or what?
He brought his girlfriend the next fucking day and everything like that.
Okay, so he had.
So
he had
I
proof.
don't. I mean, I don't. Everyone, it's all up there. I was. I mean, that was also when I was a lot younger, so I was fucking fine.
Yeah.
I'll show you some pictures when I was younger. I was like, damn, if he got me, oh my gosh, when I was younger, especially, jeez Louise, I would have loved you when I was younger.
You turned me down?
Yeah, it was crazy. And then...
So you were hot enough that you would turn a straight guy gay?
I don't know. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble right now. But yeah, no, he got really angry about it. And I feel like that's the thing, is that I do know that nowadays... you get a mixed reaction. Some guys will be like, especially like you were talking about before on the last podcast, you'd be like, oh yeah, no, that's flattering. Sorry, I'm not this and that.
Yeah. Because I get that sometimes too. I'm not going to say that I get tons of gay guys coming after me, but it's once in a while I'll get one, and I mean I don't get too offended. I mean maybe I'll look at myself. Oh, do I have any cues today that I'm gay? Maybe I'm wearing something that I'm not that you can always tell, but sometimes
MMA fighters and like sports athletes that are queer. So we don't know nowadays, especially. We should have never known, to be honest, because anyone could be gay. But I think that it's hard because the other reaction is very devastating. It also depends on what area you live in. Like, so I am still, I was, and I'm still in Hayward. So Hayward.
Nothing wrong with Hayward.
Nothing wrong with Hayward, but I'm not going to lie. We're not San Francisco.
Yeah.
So the guys are like, what the fuck you saying? It's still intense. Like, you saying I'm gay? Because that one time in college, we were all experimenting. Like, it's just like...
Well, what the funny thing is, sometimes those things would come out. Like they would say, well, it was just an experiment. It was one time, okay? And then they actually out themselves.
Who told you?
Yeah. So you don't even know about that. And it just comes out. And you're like, oh, okay.
But he was really... it was really hard because he was really, really offended. Like, so offended... where he brought his girlfriend next day just to be like my girlfriend, and then he told everyone in class that I was gay and I hit on him, and then he just basically outed me from the whole entire class, and it was really devastating, to be honest, because a lot of people I don't mind coming out, but I don't want to come out in a way through gossip, through saying that I'm this perpetrator, I pushed my gayness on him, stuff like that. That was a lot. So there is, I can understand why a lot of queer people don't want to come out right away because they're not sure how their friends are going to react. I'm not going to lie. Growing up, I lost a lot of straight friends coming out. I think at least half disappeared.
Would you say it's easier nowadays than it was 20 years ago?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I still think it's taboo. Obviously, it's still taboo. There's still so many people who are like, oh, I'm cool with it, but don't get near me. And I'm like, oh.
Don't get near me.
What am I, the fucking Resident Evil virus?
Yeah, you'll instantly get infected like monkeypox or something. You just...
Oh, no, monkeypox. That's serious, you guys. Be careful with that one.
Yeah, but for me, so obviously it's much less, than your experience, but once in a while I'll, talk to a girl that I think is cute. And I don't know if it's true or not, but she'll later say, oh, I'm not into guys. I'm a lesbian or something. I don't know if they mostly say that because they don't like me. They would just that's their easy way out, right? Which, I'll take their word for. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to be like Drake. Are you into girls like I am? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So it just, it's pretty rare that happens because, like I said before, I don't really hit on girls that much on the street, but once in a while I'll just talk to one, and later on I'll find out that she might be swinging for the other team, which is fine,
but even then I just feel like for what I've experienced and seen, is that they do make it hard sometimes. It's in a straight world, I'm not gonna lie, you guys have a much harder time dating when it comes to interaction, because there is this inherent fear, which a lot of it's justified in terms of women are like, oh, I'm not sure about a guy talking to me, is he gonna physically abuse me? Is he gonna verbally attack me? Is he just a nice guy? And also the whole entire emphasis of the nice guy syndrome, right? Where I don't know why, but a lot of people, including gay guys, like the bad boys. So they'll often, and I, as a gay man, I see both sides, right? So if a girl tells me, oh my gosh, yeah, he's a 10, but he's so weird. He just checks in with me, and then he's always opening doors and being so considerate. He's so boring, and I'm like, you're a toxic...
Is that bad? I do that.
I know what I'm saying. I'm like, you're a toxic piece of shit. And they're like, what? And then all her homegirls, because the one thing we have to realize is even straight girls simp for other straight girls. They're like, well, he's probably cheating, so it's good that you dump him. And I'm here's a key word. You said probably. You don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You're making assumptions to excuse the toxic actions of your girlfriends. That's why I think that there is toxic masculinity, but I also think that there's very much toxic femininity. And I see a lot of girls, not just guys, a lot of girls simp for the girls, even though they're not, into
Well,
girls.
there's that notion that the hotter girl or guy is likelier to cheat. Whether it's true or not, that's to be seen. But that's what people have the assumption, because any hot person, they just go out on the street, get hit on constantly during the day, so there's more temptation. Whereas somebody who is, not to say less hot, but just say less attractive, less desirable, then they would be less likely to cheat because they don't have that much temptation.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like kind of double-edged sword, right? Everyone wants that hot girl or guy, but they also don't want to deal with the potential of that person possibly drifting off, which it may or may not happen, but it's always in the back of their mind that this person probably is going to leave me or cheat on me. Yet they still go for it anyway, right? Like you said, they want the bad boys, that element of danger that they might leave anytime, or they might do something stupid. Like they kind of like that, So it goes both ways, right? So they could have the safe, boring person that's not that exciting, but they're stable.
Safe, boring people will sup. I'm single, and I'm ready to mingle. Asian persuasion.
So you're more into that, right? Just the safe, reliable.
I think 'cause I'm also older too.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I feel like, we're older, and I feel like as you get older, you're like, I don't want the fuck boys. I don't want the fuck girls. I want to have a situation where I can come home to someone and know their name.
Yeah.
Spend
Know
time
their
with them
name.
and be considerate. Like
You're done to the days you wake up. You don't even. They're like all around you. Well, what's your name again?
Like, this ain't YOLO. I love Drake, but this ain't YOLO. Like, we're not young. Even Drake's not even young anymore.
Yeah, he's like pushing 40, right?
Yeah, we're around the same age, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, you become older. I'm not gonna lie, you become wiser. You stop wanting the fuck shit.
Yeah, but the older I get, though, the more I realize that some things never change. Like, I know some people, they have this gossip and drama, like they're still in high school.
Oh yeah, I hate those people.
So it doesn't matter. Like, they could be. I think it's like a bell curve. So
you're not in high school anymore. Stop being a fucking mean girl, Regina George. That's including straight men too. You guys are fucking being Georges too.
Well, it's kind of like a bell curve, right? You're in high school, you get mature, and then once you reach a certain age, it goes back down again. So it's like, I know people in their 50s and 60s acting like children, like just gossiping and
You're not
doing
Hugh
all
Hefner. Come on, like, you ain't rich like that. Like, why you doing all that? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like, why waste your time? I just, as I said before, like, I just also that, this is where I might differ, right? Not saying that our cultures are not similar to that, but like, especially being a Thai man, we really value having a wife if you're hetero, or a husband if you're queer one day. I mean, what's really interesting to me, and I want to hear your guys' opinion on this too, whenever I look at dramas, either straight dramas or queer dramas in America, they're dramatically different than the queer dramas and straight dramas in Thailand and Asia. In Asia, it's more romance focused. Like I'm super romantic. You know what I'm saying? But the ones over here are just like fuckboy status. Like, we did drugs, we fucked around, and we found each other, and I don't really give a fuck. That's how it is in America.
Yeah,
Like, I do think there's probably some romantic dramas, but I think that a majority of romantic dramas are still in Asia, and I'm still that, like, as I told Eric that just earlier, I'm that K-pop guy. You know what I'm saying? I want to do the whole entire matching outfits, be proud of being together, support each other, be romantic, make vegan chocolates on Valentine's Day, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, that's one thing I would not do, like with a girl. Like with matching outfits, when I see people doing that on the street, it kind of makes me cringe. Like,
I love that shit.
This guy's such a simp.
I love that shit.
Like, okay, if the girl really wanted to do it, I don't. Like, no one has forced me to do it yet, thankfully. And if they did, I don't know how I would react. So just luckily, it hasn't happened yet. So
look up Korea and matching outfits. They are the kings and queens of that shit.
Well, yeah, in Asia, things are a little different from here. There's still that kind of macho tough guy thing where you don't want to be too.
But there's also that fuck boy, fuck girl thing.
That's
what I'm saying. There's a hit and miss. There's pros and cons for every culture. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's pros and cons to this culture versus, Asian culture and vice versa. I can see both sides. So let's talk about the benefits, the pros and cons of relationships and dating, and especially hookups in the straight community and gay community. So those are ones I think, to be honest, I do want to say there's a clear difference between that.
Yeah.
So tell me about like hookup culture and dating in the straight community.
Well, I wouldn't say I have a ton of experience in it, but just recently from using the apps, I'd say.
How often does your dick get wet?
This is a family show here. We're rated G here.
We've already ruined that, like in the first 1 minute.
Maybe it's more you ruining it. I try to keep it clean.
Yes, go ahead. Tell me about it.
Well, for me, it's just recently. Maybe not recently, but starting a couple years ago, before the pandemic. That's when I started using the apps, and for me, it is. I'm not just saying this. I really did not try to go out and just mess around, right? It's just, I was just on there trying to meet people, trying to socialize, because I was kind of in a cave for a couple years. I had a long-term relationship that fizzled out a couple years ago. And then after that, I was in a cave, didn't date, socialize or anything. I just wanted to keep to myself. And then one day I woke up, you know what? Why am I, toiling in mediocrity here, just doing nothing? So I just signed up for the app for the heck of it, and I wouldn't say I was instantly successful, but I just tweaked it a little bit and found out how to work the system a little better, and ended up doing pretty well, like meeting lots of people. But I only wanted to chat, so I wasn't trying to hook up, I wasn't trying to meet my wife, anything. Just wanted to be friends. And some people were receptive to that. They all said initially that we're cool being friends, and we'll just hang out, and no strings attached. But it turns out a lot of them, they just said that. They actually wanted more, but they were just saying that just so they could, potentially... Okay, I'm not saying I'm hot shakes or anything, but maybe they thought there was more than just that, and they just wanted to stick around. Potentially there could be something there. But eventually they thought I just was just stringing them along. And, a lot of them either left. Some of them still hanging around. I haven't met any new ones for the longest time, but these are the ones from before that they're just hanging around, and just we chat every so often, just being friendly. Sometimes we meet, but nothing happens. And some of the others were so pissed they just ghosted me. They either ghosted me or left. And then some of them were straight up from the get-go that all they want is looking for something fun, which is cool. Like I said, I'm not specifically looking for that, but if we're both mutually agreeing that on the same page, then hey, I'm up for that. So I just meet different ones across the board. And of course, there's some who are like really serious about marriage, and they, even though I never said that I was, not that I wasn't, but I just don't want to lead them on to say that I'm looking for marriage too. Just some guys would do that just to get in their pants. Yeah. And I don't do that. I'm honest. I'm like, you know what? I'm just meeting friends, just talking and socializing, and they say they're cool, but they actually are looking for a husband. And then apparently they see me as potential material. I don't know why, but and then they get mad at me for not committing. So not that I'm just out fooling around and not wanting to commit. I'm just not ready. I'm just out meeting people and just trying to discover myself. I know that's a really old age-old excuse, but it's true. Like, I'm just trying to figure out who I am and what I want in life, and I'm just learning along the way. Yeah. So, it's, of course, there's hit and misses. I probably broke some hearts. My heart got broken too, so it goes both ways. So it's been overall a good experience, I think. Just mostly from apps. Like I said, I don't talk to too many people in real life. Maybe a couple that I met in real life through friends that I went out with. Yeah. But the majority...
Well, I think the last time you said that was your forte, dude. Like, in the last podcast, you're like, I know that personally for me... That's what you're saying for yourself, that this is your forte. Yeah. But some people rather have it in person. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because for me, I think, because I'm a writer, so I text well, and I'm able to present myself well through writing, more so than talking. And I guess, maybe some people may say this is, me being deceptive, and I know how to text and trick people. But for me, I don't see it that way. I just like to text, and I think I can present myself better that way. And if it makes a good impression, then hey, then it works, right? Yeah. So maybe in person, I would not make as great of an impression, when they see me, one-on-one, but through text.
So, that sounds so horrible.
Well, no, you know how it is. You know how it is, like when you talk to somebody on text and you already like them, It doesn't matter how they look in person.
I like you in person.
Oh, thanks.
I think you're cool. Yeah, no, I do think, what's interesting to me is that I feel like this is where the clear difference is. So you're talking about people who want commitment.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not right away, but, like, are aiming for that, right? And to me, like, that's where queer dating is my downfall. Because I'm really ready for commitment. Like, if someone, not saying that, like, you're guaranteed to be my husband.
Yeah.
Not saying that, but saying that, like, I don't know, my throat got so dry. Sorry.
You got a fur ball.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty much furball right now. But I think that's a clear difference between straight dating and queer dating is that if you are looking for commitment, or if you are open to it, like I am, that's where the issues lie. Because a majority of the people that you see don't want commitment. They want just hookups.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, because then, you're dating, and then, yeah, you get some hot guys that are after you, but the problem is that they're after sex, and like, that sounds amazing to straight people, because every time I talk to my straight friends or straight people I know, they're like, I love how you guys just, like, want to have sex. It's just like, whenever you want, it's like, boom, it's right there.
But isn't that kind of a stereotype? They think that gay guys just humping all day,
it's
day
a
and night.
stereotype, but it is a stereotype, but it's available. I think the stereotype of availability is there, right? So if I want to, like, if I was like, oh, I'm horny right now, fuck you, Eric, leave. I could have someone here in like 20 minutes, just like really easily. Like, that's not even a hard thing for queer people. But I do think, in terms of relationships, that's at least 100 times harder to get as a queer person.
Yeah.
Particularly a gay person. Not talking about lesbians or trans, but because I'm not lesbian or trans, so I don't know exactly what you guys go through. But as a gay man, it is a lot harder in terms of committed relationships.
Well, I think for straight guys, like for me especially, like, the one issue I come up with is that I am getting a little older.
Yeah.
And the women I would meet who are my age are also, biological. I'm not being an ageist or anything, but just biologically speaking, they're getting up there, and they feel if they don't have children, they need to act now. So maybe it's not so much the marriage; they just want children. And the ones I've been meeting aren't, super young.
Yeah.
So they're at that point where they want to meet someone and have a family, then they have to do it soon. So I'm not suggesting that older women can't have children, nothing like that. But it's just science, right? Like, at some point, it's less and less likely that they'll have kids.
It's more of a tick clock for the women.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They want to fulfill that. But I also want to say that there are fuck girls. So, like, even though, there are women who want to be committed, there's also fuck girls. But I think the problem with the queer community is, like, a majority are fuck boys. It's not even, there's some. No, there's a lot. And I'm not a fuck boy. When I was younger, I probably was one. If I was a fuck boy when I was younger,
he only looks like one. Like, looks are deceiving, right?
Yeah, but I want that. I want the whole entire. Like, I still think I'm like one of those weird people. Like, I thought about marriage for a long time. Like, I know exactly. I want a half Thai, half Americanized wedding. Like, I want to be in a suit, but I also want to be like in a Thai outfit. And I want elephants there, and I want
elephants.
and I want
you'll have Tony
monks.
Jaa coming in riding an elephant.
Like, I want Buddhist monks to, like, bless us with, like, prayer water, and I want to have a sword, like the Thai, a Thai prince, because what they do for the weddings, they're very decked out, and my culture is important to me, being a Thai man, but also I want to have a traditional suit wedding too as well. I've always thought of that. So, like, but that's the problem, is that if you're not like the typical Ken doll, in the queer community, like, that's really difficult. And also the racial disparity, I'm not gonna lie, you guys can argue me about this, but let's talk about it, because the racial disparity is much higher, I think, in the queer community than it is the straight community. Like, people are openly focused on no Asians, no blacks in people's profiles. They'll say it.
Wow.
They just say it. It's not even like, oh, well, I'm not really into after they get hit up, right? They literally say no Asians, no blacks on their profiles in queer profiles.
Wow.
So that's why it's so crazy to me So there's racial disparity a lot in the queer community. And there's also this issue of only wanting to hook up for a lot of us, not all of us, right? Because I'm one, again, like, I want a dating situation, Asian nice boy, but it's difficult. Commitment is difficult.
Yeah. But is it, so I noticed in the gay community, also the guys are older. Like they can do that messing around even into their 40s and 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas like straight guys, I mean, of course there are guys who are in that age, but it's less than I think in the gay community.
It's probably because we don't get you pregnant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. See, that's one drawback where, guys.
Hugh Hefner can have babies at like 80. He probably did,
Well, didn't like Richard Gere just have he's like 70
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
what I'm saying. Y'all can have babies real easily.
And Michael Douglas, right?
Exactly. So there's just so many options right there. But again, like that's the problem because, and as I said before, like obviously there's gay marriage. Like this is why I get so annoyed with people who are against gay marriage. I'm like, not all of us want to get married. So like it's like there's not even that many of us that want to get married. So when we do get married, we don't even get that. Are you serious?
Well, I think from the straight person's perspective, just stereotypically, they think all gay guys are just humping around each other anyway. So what's the point of getting married? Why stick with one person?
Then why not give it to us? Because if you don't think we're gonna do it anyways,
I'm not saying I think that way. that's like the stereotypical.
Saying, if you already think that we're not gonna do it,
then
just let's have it so we can just fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy in that circumstance. But again. I also think it has to do a lot with being here in America and being in Asia. It's two totally different scenarios for queer men. But I do have to be truthful about this. If you took all the straight men, okay, we lived in this new world, okay, this new world, this new dimension, multiverse, and all the women didn't get pregnant. And wanted sex just as bad as you do, how would the world be?
Oh, I think people would be humping like rabbits.
Yeah, it'd be dramatically different sexually, right? So here's the thing, that's what the gay world's like, because obviously we're not getting our guys pregnant.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's a good analogy.
The responsibility is not as much there, which is shit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, maybe it should be because, not to extent. I would never want to get pregnant. You girls have to deal with so much.
So then also does that make you less selective? Because guys, like maybe they think, oh man, I don't want to knock her up, right? Like they'll second guess and they'll hold back, right? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with any woman, but I'm just saying like maybe this, they don't see anything with this girl. If he accidentally gets her pregnant, then things will be bad.
Yeah.
Like maybe gay guys, since you can't get pregnant, then you don't think like that. You just impulsively will.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We're actually, I do want to say this: gay men are at least 10% more superficial than straight men. I do think that straight men are superficial, not gonna lie about that. But I do think that gay men are way more superficial. I think when a lot of straights say, oh, these gay men are after me, it's because they want the challenge. They want forbidden fruit, but they don't really care. You know? They just want to say, I did a straight guy. It's more of a challenge, like Monopoly. Like in terms,
so that's the challenge, like going after a straight guy and
for some, not me. It's like for me, it's like when I go to a Japanese restaurant and then they give me the menu, but all I get is a plastic food. Like it's boring, it's stupid. It's like you still get the food, but it's plastic. So what's the point of that? This makes sense to me. So I do think I think that some who do that see it as a challenge. For me, I don't waste my time. Because I'm just like, why?
Because you're not after just having sex. You're more for the relationship and something more meaningful. If it's not a game anymore, it's just like
exactly. I think that's a huge part of the problem too, as well, is that especially religiously. Not saying that I'm anti-religious, right? I'm not at all. But religiously, we were taught, straight men, queer people, that it's only about sexualness within the queer community. And they have no idea that, like, we want relationships. Like, I was in a relationship for 6 years with my ex, and I loved him, I cared about him. I held his hand, we cuddled, we watched movies together, we went to Yosemite, we did all this romantic stuff. More romantic stuff than most straight couples do. Right? But then when you look at us, and then you have that gay stereotype. You're like, all they do is have sex. So that's the problem. Even for us queer people, a lot of times we also think that stereotype is who we are, and we're so much more than that. We're so much more than just sex. We love, we care about each other, we support each other. Like, there is this inherent love and affection that goes with your partner, not just sex.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to life than just that, right? Like even like you look at a straight couple, like they're.
I mean, you're just a hole after that, anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just a walking glory hole.
Yeah, because like once you're actually together, there's more you need to do. Like you have to do adult things, right? You gotta work, you gotta take care of the bills, do all these things. Where sex isn't even the first thing on your mind, right? It's just way in the back burner. Like you do it when you have the chance, but that's not like priority number one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how people think people have nothing else to do but have sex all the time.
I know. By the way, guys, I'm inherently looking at Eric like this, so don't say anything that I'm not paying attention because I'm just like the whole entire time. Okay? I am almost dead on hitting on him, so stop it. It's crazy, but I want that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I feel like there's differences, because like straight men are like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get this girl, she got like this nice ass booty, you know what I'm saying, everything like that, she's stacked, and I'm like, yeah, for sex, that's fine, but like, the things that you want, the sexual, and I want the emotional, not saying you, but saying some straight men. So it's interesting because I'm wondering, if you got only sexual, would you guys want emotional?
Well, the interesting thing is that, how you get along with somebody very well emotionally, but maybe sexually it's not there or something. There's a lot of different factors when it comes to relationship. So one person, you could be all about sex and lust, but you don't get along with them emotionally or mentally. Someone else, you get along with them very emotionally, mentally, but the sex part isn't there. So it's kind of a hard juggling act. Like, which one do you want more, and why can't one person have all those features? So that just goes to us being choosy. Like they say, you can't be too picky, but there's some things that everyone desires in life, and sometimes you can't get all of those things from one person. So I'm trying to. It kind of makes me sound like I'm being a player or something, but I'm just saying that.
No, I'm not saying.
But
no,
yes, it's just hard to find all those features in one person, and when you don't. When somebody's lacking something, then you might tend to, go astray, find someone else who might have different things. Like, say the most important thing to you is that mental, right? And this person you care for is, doesn't have that mental, and it's just all about sex. Then you would feel lacking in something, and you go more for somebody else. But then, if that person's not very sexual, then it's hard for you to decide, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think that. We have to look at EQ with someone which is emotional quotient. And okay, I'm not gonna be a nerd. I was about to say, like, it's a Harvard study that was done actually as well. And it's like,
no, that's good. We back up our stats.
There is studies. I mean, it's actually way past the Harvard study, like way past beyond Harvard study as well. And it talks about emotional quotient being something of an emotional attachment that we also have to cherish. And a lot of times we cherish and focusing on the physical attachment, sex.
Yeah.
But here, sex is very attainable. You know what I'm saying? If you were to have sex with someone, you could name at least like 5 people on the street. Like, I'm going to fuck them, I'm going to fuck them, I'm going to fuck them, right? But in terms of emotional attachment, in terms of saying, like, I really connect soulfully with that person, that's so much more difficult. And we have to realize how that connects to each other, and how to also cherish the EQ as much as we cherish the physical attachment to someone. And that's what I go by, because for me, what turns me on is not just like how sexually I am attracted to them, but also like, are they giving me a situation where I can connect with them? Can I look at their eyes during sex? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm like,
you can see their soul through
the eyes. If I'm doing you and I'm like, my head's down, oh, what? Like, they're like, why don't you look at me? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't like you. Like,
just a piece of meat to me.
I like you physically, but like, emotionally you suck.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of times we're focusing so much on the physical attachment, and then emotional attachment's not there. So we go, and then because of only looking for physical attachment, not EQ, just only physical attachment, we're going from partner to partner to partner to partner, because the physical attachment is so easy to obtain. but the emotional attachment, that's really difficult for queer and straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that has to be a value. And if someone's sweet and kind and nice to me, I want to fuck them.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think that's how women feel too. Like the guys that they feel that there's this connection with mentally and spiritually and all that, those are the ones they're way more attracted to than just the hot guy with a nice body.
Yeah.
You know, because they know the hot guy with a nice body. I mean, of course, they like that packaging from the start, but they know if there's no substance there, then that's all they're good for, right? So, but whereas somebody, they have this, you know, attachment just emotionally, and they get along so well, they can converse, talk about the cosmos, and, you know, all this other stuff besides superficiality, then, they just get, that's what makes them, you know, aroused, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
I'll tell you one experience before we leave, okay? And I want you to tell me one too as well.
Okay.
So, the thing is that I was dating this guy, and I'm not gonna lie, he was one of my favorites. He's this Chinese guy, right? His name was Z. I don't care.
Yes, that's his real name.
Yes, yeah. So his name was Z. Okay,
And Z, if you're watching right now,
not all Z's, obviously. There's some great Z's out there. This Z, you're fucked up. But this Z, he was this Chinese guy. To me, he was just perfect. You know, he had like the long Ming Dynasty hair.
Ming Dynasty hair.
I don't know. I was into it. I was like, "You go, Clay Warrior!" Like I was just like, he had like the long Asian hair. He smelled like a field of flowers. I don't know, but even though I'm into men, like I want my men to smell like beautiful women, and I just thought he was so cute. Like we're around the same age, you know. I thought he was really adorable. And I'm not gonna lie, I still kind of think he's adorable, but you know, like I really cared about him. But the problem is like he always wanted to start fights, especially like as a straight man when you have like that girl where like you're holding hands, you're doing something really nice, going to like the Cherry Blossom Festival or like, you know, something really nice, right? You go to the movies, you go for a walk in the park, it's a sunset, it's beautiful, and then suddenly she just wants to fight for no reason. Not physically fight, but just like argue.
Well, they think of something from like 10 years ago, like, hey, you know that one time you did this, like, what the heck, you know? Yeah, just random. You're like, where did this come from?
You're like, I'd be holding his hand, he'd be sitting on my lap on the bench watching the sunset at the park. He'd be like, you know what? I hate how misogynistic most men are. I'm like, why the fuck are you bringing
just
this up
a
now?
random
It
thought.
might be misogynistic, not you. But, you know, to be honest, you're also a man. So you can have this. I'm like, you're also a man. You are also a man sitting on my lap right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to maintain this Woody. Well, you're talking. Come on, Z. You know, and he would always do, like, every moment we had something romantic. And I really, like, I'm telling you, Z, like, I really want to be romantic with you. I really want to care for you. I want to be a good man to you. But you ruined it every chance you had. And that was the situation, though. Like, you know, it was so hard because I was very sexually attracted to him. Like, I just want to do you every day, every night. But the problem was that every time, you know, we get close emotionally, which is my main thing. Like, I'm just all about emotion. You would ruin it by saying something where you're trying to push your problems from other guys or from your parents or whatever on me.
Yeah.
And you would make me lose my heart on because it's not just a physical heart on. It's an emotional heart on too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just go limp every time you say, oh, well, you know, I hate when my father did this or I hate when these men do this. I'm like, am I those men? Am I those men?
Yeah, so why is he taking it out on you? Like,
exactly. So that's what he did. And I remember it just ruining our relationship. So, fuck you, Z. But yeah, that's the thing is that, like, it's what I realized, because I thought he's hot. To me, he was the hottest, right? Doesn't matter how hot he was. I mean, I still think about the booty, too. Boom. But, like, doesn't matter how hot he is, because I was very sexually attracted to him. His emotions were very unfair.
Yeah, so that was a huge turnoff right there. Like, no matter how hot he was physically, like, the way he acted just totally turned you off.
Exactly. And I'm sure you could say that about some women in your life, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for me, I think, well, I kind of learned my lesson now. But before, like I mentioned earlier.
Come on.
So, like before I mentioned how I was meeting all these women through the apps and just Like I'm not trying to be a player, just meeting them to talk.
I won't be a player no more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Sorry.
rest in peace,
Sorry.
big pun. Yeah, but it was just more for me socializing, just getting to know myself, building up my confidence, and maybe I admit maybe I was at fault because I possibly led some on without knowing it, because I told them, like I said, just being friends first, seeing where it goes from there. And I guess, a few of them saw that as a cue. All right, hey, maybe there's a possibility, just hanging around. And nowadays, I don't do that anymore. So I know, like, how the age-old question of can men and women be friends?
Yeah.
Like, I used to think, yes, they could. But now that I've met so many women and tried to be friends with them, I know it's difficult, especially when there is some sparks there. It's not like strong sparks, but there's something, right? Some attachment. Like they always mention to straight guys, like, if you had your female friends, if you had a chance to hook up with them, would you do it? Most would say yes, right? The girls, maybe they don't think of it that way to the guys, but the guys definitely would. And sometimes it could be some girls feel the same way about a guy friend, and the guy doesn't reciprocate. So it's very rare that it's both that have that they think both ways, because if they did, then they would have done it, right? So anyways, so there's a couple that I met on the apps that each time, like, they keep boomeranging back and forth. So they would get mad at me for not committing, then ghost me, or just throw a fit, and then disappear a couple months. Lo and behold, a couple months later, they wouldn't just outright come out like nothing happened, but they would just like kind of throw a bone or something, like just see how I react. And then I'm just a nice guy, and I just talk to them like nothing happened. I don't snap at them or say anything sarcastic. I just talk to them like normal, and then oh cool, they come right back, talk to me again like nothing happened, and then bam, once again they get pissed. Right? So I don't know what they're expecting, right? Like, how they say, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, so they keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Fool me twice, shame on us.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, I'm not saying I don't have anything to blame, but at some point, like, what do they expect? Maybe I should just stop being a nice guy, just being a jerk to them. Like, you know what?
No, don't do that. That's the worst. I hate your fucking narratives where you're like, oh, like the whole entire nice guy thing. You know what I'm saying? Nice guys, you deserve not only a partner, you deserve to get laid. So like all this fucking like, oh, nice guys finish last or whatever. Gotta appreciate nice guys. I do. I'm not gonna lie. Again, understanding both sides, the men, and women and other men that are here. We follow that narrative, and it's really shameful. I think that nice guys, even though some women or whatever, gay men, don't appreciate you, when you find the one that does, they are definitely worthy, right? So if someone doesn't appreciate you, they're not worthy of you. And nice girls too. Nice girls, nice guys. If they don't appreciate you, they're not worthy.
Yeah.
They're going to go to hell too, so don't worry about it.
Well, the thing is, I used to be that nice guy. Like, I was...
No, why? You used to be a nice guy?
Well,
you're not a nice guy anymore? I think you're nice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, okay, I'll say I still am a nice guy, but I changed my mentality where I was like, how people...
Like a cautionary nice guy.
Yeah. You know how, like, earlier you said girls like the bad boys, right? So you got to have that little bit of edge, because if you're too nice of a guy, then they don't see you as desirable. They think, oh, this guy is just someone I can use to put his jacket over the puddle, and when I need help, I'll ask him. But they're not going to give themselves to you, right? Yeah. So of course we always hear the story about this nice guy being a total simp, helping the girl out, do whatever she wants. Yet she goes for this punk, the guy that is no good for nothing, and the nice guy's like, why? Like, so. That was me before, so I'm not going to be that anymore. So
I just want to be real. I think that being a simp and a nice guy are two totally different things.
Yeah.
I think according to media, which again they're false about this.
Yeah.
A simp and a nice guy, or a simp and a nice girl, are two different things. So you can be a great man or a great woman and not be a simp at all. Simps are mostly people who are willing to excuse bad behavior. because the person they like so much they think is hot. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have OnlyFans. I'm not here to simp over anyone. Okay. And if you have OnlyFans, more power to you. No lies. More power to you if you have OnlyFans. But at the same time, I'm not a simp, but I'm a good man. And I'll never be a simp, but I'll always be a good man that should be appreciated. But you have to be around people who appreciate you too as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think you're right. The people do use those words interchangeably these days. But there is some truth when people say nice guys finish last, because the guy who would do anything for anybody, they're not a challenge anymore. Like, girls see this guy will just bend over backwards for them. They don't find him interesting.
But that's not a nice guy. You shouldn't. I think there has to be a happy medium. If you're a nice guy or a nice girl, you shouldn't have to, or your partner shouldn't make you bend over backwards to appease them. Because if they're not doing the same for you, why the fuck are you guys together? You know, it has to be equilibrium.
Yeah,
it has to
exactly. It has to be balanced. Yeah,
yin yang.
Yeah, because people always want what they can't have. So sometimes, even when you're in a relationship, you don't give all of your time and attention to that person because they know that you have nothing else going on in your life, that everything is for them. Like Bryan Adams, everything I do for you. Like, it sounds good in fairy tales, but in reality, like, girls don't want that.
Do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Oh, yeah. But anyways, so I think girls say they want that, but in reality they don't. That's why they do like the bad boys. So it is a balance. So you want to be, of course, the guy that will help her and be a kind gentleman to her, but yet still have a little bit of an edginess or your own personality, where you're not her lapdog, just doing whatever she says.
I don't like that though. I don't like that. A nice man has to be a lapdog. I think that you could be a nice guy and not have to be a lapdog. And vice versa. I think that you could be a nice girl and not be a lapdog either. You know what I'm saying? Or a lap bitch. Like, I think the things that we have to do a next podcast on simps, because I feel like there's so much misunderstanding on simps, because we have so many people who are toxic that say people are simps because they want to excuse their toxicity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I hear a lot. I see a lot of people that are like, they're super toxic and they're like, oh, you're a simp, bro, because you love your girlfriend. I'm like, no, you're just a fucking asshole. It's like, just because you cheat on your girlfriend, you're like, oh, she doesn't appreciate me. I'm like, because you cheat on her, you fucking use her credit card to buy more Louis Vuitton for your jackets. Like, you're doing toxic ass shit, and you're calling other people simps for it. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. They're just being like a bad boyfriend in general. Yeah. Whereas
bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend. There's both sides, you guys. I'm gay. I'm not here to defend just one of you guys. Both of y'all fucked up sometimes.
Yeah, so I guess also part of it is not caring what other people say. So if I love my girl, if we want to dress alike, whatever, people laugh at me. Hey, you know what? Like, that's me. I don't care what you think, right? So I think that's also part of it. But then maybe if you let the noise get to you, like, oh, these people are making fun of me. Then
a lot of toxic ass people on here. Guys. We're not one of them though, because we are the ASL podcast, Spirit Love, Asian People. Let us know how you feel about the comments, how you feel about the talk today, and if there's anything you suggest in terms of topics as well. Let us know about it. Okay, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast, and we're gonna be out.
Yeah. Peace. See you next time.
All right, bye, guys.